Hey, welcome to Sweetheart Before I Say I Do. It is Friday night and I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited because we have some really, really special guests with us this evening. And so this is all about love relationships, right? Sweetheart Before I Say I Do was written many years ago. I am the author. And it talks about the love relationship, not necessarily whether you're going to end up getting married or not, but it does talk about the complications of the love relationship and finding self love first, loving yourself first so that you know and can show others how to love you. So I'm excited today to be taking center stage and owning it with me with some hot wives living some hot lives. And so they have just recently, or they're in the process of publishing their anthology. And I'm excited because we have one of those authors, or one of our very own It contributing writer, Angela A. Love Lewis. We do a lot together at front and center and behind the scenes. And I just want to bring her center stage before we bring the rest of the authors in to share a little bit about the project and about the heartbeat behind it. And why is it necessary for us to have to write about this kind of stuff? So Angela A. Love is in the house. How are you?
Hi, what's going on?
It's Friday nights. Friday
I know
night,
it's
just
Friday.
got paid,
Yes,
party hunting. So
there
we
you go.
want to talk about this. Hot wives, man. Hot wives, hot lives. Talk to us about this. What started this? Where did it come from? Share with the audience, Angela.
Marisa, first, thank you so much for having us on your platform. We're super excited to be here. I think it was probably 2020, 2021 when we started it was the Hot Wife Society. And so it really came, my sister-in-law years before used to, make posts and it would always be hashtag Hot Wife, Hot Life. And I was like, I love that. I just think it's so catchy and, just makes people have a different perspective about being married, right? You know how back in the day they used to say to men the old ball and chains, right? As if getting married would keep you from enjoying life. It was like a prison sentence, right?
Yeah.
And that is not the case. It's so many people who, when they don't realize getting married should be a whole brand new exciting part of your life, not something that makes you feel like, oh God, now I'm married, now my life is over. No, that's not how it should be. And so, in looking at that, I'm like, let's take this to the next level. And she was like, girl, go for it. And so that's what I did. We created the Hot Wife Society, and it's really just a place to let people know that marriage is hard. Don't get me wrong. It takes work. But so does anything else in life. You're trying to get your finances together. It takes work. You're trying to, be do your career or start out on your own business. That takes work. If you're trying to, get healthy or lose weight or whatever, that takes work. So does marriage. And in that, you are with your life partners. So together, you all, come together, have good communication. But we wanted to put the light out there and say that it's some people out here who are happily married, whether they have been together 1 month, 1 year, or 20 plus years, whatever that looks like for you. And there's ups and downs, but at the same time, it's also a beautiful experience. And so we wanted to talk about that and kind of give people some behind the scenes information, on what it takes to really have successful marriages. And whether it's your first marriage, your second marriage, or hey, for some people,
Recent
maybe on
one.
their third or fourth, whatever that looks like for you, it's okay. Because guess what? We're all humans and we're out here trying to live our best life. And in this case, for the wise, it's the hot life. So,
Mm.
yes.
And that's another thing that's really important too. Is keep your hotness. Some women get married, and the next thing you know, it's just like they just let themselves go. And I know that life can be challenging, but one of the charges here that I'm hearing is keep it hot, keep it fresh,
Keep
keep
hot.
it exciting.
Absolutely. Because you know what? You said something in the beginning about self love. When you love yourself, you owe it to yourself to be able to not lose yourself just because you get married. You are a woman first. And so you don't lose that because you get married. And when you say I do, it doesn't stop. So whatever you did to get him, whatever he did to get you, both of you should still continue to keep that freshness alive. Still date each other. Just because you're married does not mean that you stop dating. It doesn't mean that, you stop having conversations. No, that really should be your best friend. And it should be hotter. It should be more intimate. It should be, a lot more deeper than what it is when it's, the two of you just being separate, dating each other. So yeah, keep it hot.
Keep it hot and keep it fresh. Well, we're not. I know the other authors are really excited to come on board. So before we dive into the depth of this conversation, because I believe that this is it's a very important conversation. Um,
Yeah.
the subtitle to my book is Sweetheart Before I Say I Do. I'm happily divorced, and I still believe in a happy ever after. You don't have to be in a marriage that's unhealthy. You don't have to end a marriage unhealthy. We're grown. If we talk about being grown, we grown. So you should be able to be grown up enough to work things out. And I believe that the complexity comes from a lot of being selfish. And so we're going to dive into a little bit of that too.
Okay.
That's when it becomes complicated, because if it's
Yeah.
about working together, it should be easy to compromise. What becomes complicated and complex is when you're difficult and refuse to budge. So we'll dive into that, but we're going to bring your authors out. S.
Yes.
Marie,
Hello,
Positive Ways in the house.
hello.
Dr. Francesca.
Hey, Fred.
How are you, ladies? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to take a little time and let you guys introduce yourself. And, we got to be time sensitive because there's a few of us in the room. So, S. Marie, will you share your who you are and just a glimpse into your reason why? Why did you choose to participate in this project?
Absolutely. Well, as you said, I'm S. Marie. I am a life coach and relationship coach as well. And my why for this book was really important to me because a lot of times, even though you said you're happily divorced, right? Some people really don't know what happiness is. They don't know how to be happy in life by themselves or in a relationship. So for those who choose to be in a relationship and you want to find that happiness, it was critical to me to let them see what it takes to be in a happy relationship and just give them some tips and tools on how to make things work before you just decide to call it quits. And, to learn how to do a self evaluation, evaluate yourself, but also evaluate the situation and make sure, hey, is this the hill that I want to die on today? Is this the hill that my marriage is going to fall apart over? So it was just important to me to just provide, any guidance that I could to, keep it thriving, keep it living and keep it hot like we like it. So that's
Yes.
it.
Right.
Yeah. And I believe that this is so important and critically important because the first relationship you have is with your Heavenly Father, with your
Absolutely.
Creator. That's the first relationship. And so when I wrote Sweetheart Before I Say I Do, it wasn't about the marriage. It was really about preparation of self, right? Preparation of self, and also the ability to evaluate for a partner, right? To assess, to observe, to assess and address. So how do you really see this person in their natural setting? Are you observing them? You got to be conscious. How are they interacting with other? What are some of their behaviors? What are some of their traits? How are they treating people? What's their mannerism? I'm big on the heart. If you're not a giver, if you're not caring and nurturing and things like that, I look at your heart. You can have all the money and all the looks you want. If your heart ain't right,
Yeah.
dude, you're not it for me. And so before I said I do, it was critical for me to talk about self. A lot of people say, Marissa, you're here, you're by yourself. Aren't you lonely? No, because I'm with me. So I like me. So me and me and me and me have a lot of fun.
Right.
You know,
Happiness is what it's all
some of y'all
about.
stressing out because y'all got the wrong company. I got the right one, baby. So I'm
Yes.
not alone. And before you can be happy inside a relationship, it is
Mhm.
critically important for you to
Absolutely.
be happy first by yourself, because then what are you bringing to the table? Happiness. You
Yeah.
yourself are bringing happiness. So to me, as an advocate for human rights and human behavior, it's so important for us to have these kind of conversations. And I'll be long-winded, I'll let the show go forever because of the importance of what I feel like we need to have these critical discussions, and we need to talk about emotions. TD Jakes did not write emotions for no reason. He wrote it because he recognized the need. Our men need healing. They need healing. And if the marriages get healed, then what happens? What goes on in the house spills over into our communities, right? And so that's why this is not cute hot wives, hot lives. This is real talk and real business. And you got to keep it hot if you don't want him traveling all over the place, right? So the Bible says you cannot withhold yourself from intimacy unless for fasting and praying, right? The same thing is you got to adorn yourself so he wants to be intimate. So those are so many things that, this right here is so important of a conversation and a topic. And I'm honored to have you guys on. I'm going to digress. I spoke my passion. Now I'm gonna be quiet. Cállate la boca. I'm gonna shut my mouth and I'm gonna let you guys speak. So positive praise. Please share with us a little bit about yourself and your reason for participating in this project.
Okay. Hello, everybody. First, I want to say you ladies look beautiful, and the energy is everything. But my name is Nicole Steen. I go by Positive Praise Promoter, Black Pearl, the Black Pearl of Network Marketing. Um, I am an author with the ladies in Hot Wife, Hot Life, and then I also am a virtual dispensary owner. I've been married to my high school sweetheart for 30 years. So, hey, I understand. We've been together since we were 17 years old, and our relationship is even better now. We grew up together. We even grew apart before. But when we grew apart, we learned each other. We learned ourselves. And when we had that time apart, I was able to find myself. He was able to find himself. And then we came back together with God in the midst. We were young when we first got together. We were teenagers. We didn't know what we were doing. We had a full family. We had 3 children by the age of 19. So we had already made family. So we were young. So going through life, we knew that God wanted us to take care of our family, take care of ourselves. So we did what we had to do. So on down the line, we started, getting into life. We started liking different things. And we had to go out and find ourselves. And as I stated, once we found ourselves, we came back together, and now our relationship is out of sight now. I know him. He knows me now. And as I stated in my chapter in the book, I had to learn how to love my husband. I wasn't raised around a family that was tight knit. I had a single mother. She did her best, and I respect her. But I didn't grow up with a father, so I wasn't taught how to treat a man. So I had to learn that, and I just thank God for the growth. I thank God for the wisdom, because it takes wisdom to be in a marriage for that long. And so I just thank God for just all of the things that's happened in my life. I appreciate you ladies, and back to you, host.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. Love it. Beautiful story. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I believe in that. I believe that the younger you get together, I just think that that's the idea. I think that that's the idea because you grow together and you have so much rich history together. I'm totally in alignment with that very young love, and I believe that we need to stop telling young people that they're too young to do it. We need to teach them how to do it instead of telling them no, don't do it. Because there's something about being with your partner at a very young age that's different when you come together later. And I had I had my ex-husband was like, no, they need to wait and da-da-da. No, young people can know themselves. Young people can be very mature. We're not giving them that. We don't give them that. We dismiss them. We talk to them like their stuff is foolishness. We don't have time. But if you go into other cultures, young people know about the politics. They know about the laws that are being made. They understand the structure and branches of government very, very well. They speak and can articulate themselves in their position and their opinion, and back it up with facts and history, right? But we don't have those kind of conversations with our young people. We're talking about the sneakers, who's doing what, dumb stuff. And I'm just going to call it what it is.
Oh,
It's
no.
dumb,
Spade, yeah.
yeah, it's foolishness. And then we wonder why they don't succeed, that they don't tap into and unleash their unlimited godly potential. They're substandard. They don't have a standard of excellence. They don't understand a moral code or core convictions. They don't understand any of that. And then we wondering why we don't have children and young people of substance. And we don't realize that why our children are in identity crisis, right? It goes back to the love relationship in the marriage too. If the household ain't strong, you ain't building a foundation that's strong for your young people. And so I'm going to move on over to Dr. Francesca. Share with us your contribution. What made you do this and all that other good stuff? And I got a question for all of y'all, and because I want to know, because I love doing it, but I want to hear your opinion. Go ahead, Dr. Francesca.
Hi, everyone. Hey, ladies. So, thank you so much for having us on this evening. You guys have all shared amazing gems, and I hope everyone who's tuning in or who sees this broadcast later really takes heed to what's being shared. I was excited when I was approached about the project. I was approached by beautiful Miss A Love there.
Yes.
We've worked together in the past on some projects, and it has just allowed me to be blessed to come into another environment. I kind of look at this as like a new sisterhood where you have other women who have the same goal as you. They still believe in marriage. They still believe in love. However, they know that it's not a fairy tale. So, for me, my chapter in the book is called Steadfast Endurance. And I think I titled it that because a lot of times we just want to, when life happens. So everybody touched on being in love and life happening. And for me and my marriage, so I've been married 9 years. We came into this thing, a blended family. So we have no children biological together, right? So it was a blended family. We came into this thing. Oh, we so in love. We're going to make this thing work out. And when I tell you, y'all friend just got a real big slap in the face because all the things I thought it was going to be, oh my goodness. So
Right.
how do you navigate those spaces? A lot of times we don't talk about when there is passionate fellowship. That's what I like to call it. When we're talking about raising kids or we're dealing with third parties, and a lot of times not taking into context that your spouse, whether it's the wife, the husband, they're dealing with so much as an individual, and then they're your spouse, and then they have this other person over here that they have to co-parent with. That's big, that's major. And I also like to I think I talk about it a little bit when I hear people say a lot, oh, you shouldn't let, when life happens to you, you shouldn't let that affect your marriage. So you shouldn't let your personal storms affect your marriage. I'm sorry, but I don't know how the two don't go together. I really don't know. So a personal storm for me could be grief. If I'm grieving, I don't know how that cannot affect my husband.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how he cannot understand that if it's affecting me, oh, it's going to affect you too, buddy. Because we got to get me back to a good space so we can be in a good space. So
Absolutely.
there's so many times that when life happens, right, whether it's on our side or on our spouse's side, we want to just give up. We want to throw our spouse away.
Mhm.
We don't want to. A lot of times, I think people look at marriage as a contract, but I'm here to tell you, it is definitely a covenant. It's a covenant, and it's a covenant that comes with the best warranty I've ever seen in life. Because the
Yes.
warranty that God gives says, "Hey, let me look at myself,
Come
right?
on.
Let me look at me. Let me look at me. God forgives me every day."
Yes, he
So
does.
at some point, I look at my sister saying, "Oh, it's been 30 years." So I promise you, the things that bother her, year 1 through 5,
Hmm.
that stuff she don't even care about that anymore. Like those are just habits. Oh, that's just what he does. Let me just pick that up behind him. So they're in that space, right? But how many people can say they even been rocking in this thing for a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades? So when I say I'm blessed to be a part of this amazing group of women
You
and
better
just to
speak.
carry this message, because
Hmm.
God does honor marriage. And I'm
Yes.
not speaking of situations where we get in marriages and they're just bad marriages. There's abuse. There are things that you can't recover from. I'm not speaking
Hmm.
from those marriages, but
Hmm.
I'm speaking from marriage is a job.
Yes, it
It's
is.
not for the faint at heart.
Hmm.
And so just like you get up and you put all that effort into whatever you're passionate about, what your purpose is, your career, your job, you got to put that same energy into this marriage.
Yes. Hmm. Hmm.
Very well said.
It's very good. I'm going to share. I was married for 24 years. I was married for 19 and with my ex-husband for 24 years. So I met him at 19.
Mm-hmm.
And so we courted. So we were together for a very long time. And so, yeah, like you said, it's work, but also it's meant to bring you joy, right? Because the scripture does say, woe to him who is alone, for when he falls,
Yes.
there's no one there to pick him up. And God
Yes.
created and ordained us to be together so that we could be in good partnership. He said it's not good for man to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave him a helpmate. So what I believe in marriage needs to be taken out is, I know that it's work, but we need to stop talking about the work because that's necessary and start talking about the pleasures and the joy of it.
Yes.
Because it is fun. I'm single and I'm gonna be honest because I want to have fun. I'm not dragging you along with me forever. I'm
Right.
positive, I'm high energy, and I'm done
Right.
with all of that. I'm not your therapist.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
I don't mind being your friend, but if you need to get help, sweetie, go get help. And
Right. Right.
get
That's it.
You know what,
get
Marissa?
deliverance.
It's
Get
Right.
get deliverance, honey.
Do
Because
that individual
I'm
work.
ready.
Yes, you have to.
Yeah.
You have
But
to.
it's good that you say that though, because at the end of the day, I think sometimes we get confused in life on how you approach relationships. If you're that person that you like to have a good time, that doesn't stop just because you get married. People seem to think
Yes.
that marriage is a cure-all. Like, oh, when I get married, I'm gonna stop
No.
doing this, or when we get
Right.
married, we'll start doing that. But
And
marriage
it's not a battle.
that because you're still two
And
people.
marriage is not meant to be a battle. It's not
Right.
meant to be a battle. And you don't need to enter it in. Some people get married entering into it with a mindset of a battle, a struggle. And we
Right.
don't need to do that. I'm going to tell you, I am a giver. Like I am always positive.
Yes.
I'm a giver. So my ex-husband never made his own plate in his life. He ain't buy his clothes. He ain't buy none of that stuff. I did that. And I did it with honor. I know that some women look at that. I remember I forget if I was hanging something on the wall or I was painting the family room, and the family room's 2 stories. So I had this little giant ladder, and it's not little, it's the opposite. It's a giant ladder, but it's on the wall, and I'm painting. And I had a girlfriend there that was sitting in the kitchen. My husband at the time was sitting on the sectional in the family room. They're both pretty much watching me. I forget what I was doing. And he says, Marissa, can you make me a grilled cheese sandwich? Without hesitation or thinking, I got down off the ladder and made the grilled cheese sandwich. Later, my girlfriend says to me, he should have made his own grilled cheese sandwich. And I looked, because no, he don't need to have to make his own grilled cheese sandwich. I can make his grilled cheese. One, I do it faster, and my grilled cheese sandwiches taste better than his. And I love serving. I don't have a problem with serving. And I believe that sometimes we as women condition other women to second guess their own natural behavior inside a love relationship. I love serving. I did not have a problem buying his clothes. I did not have a problem not buying his clothes. I didn't pay for them. I just went to the store and got them. I was a black woman. I didn't have to work. So if I didn't have to work and I had that privilege, he didn't have to worry about doing the kids' homework. I went to every play. I went to every function. I went to the schools and read to the kids. I did all of that because he worked and he brought in the money. So I said, "Hook, he works. Let me do." I may have did a little bit too much for him. Maybe that was my problem.
She was out of line for saying that. She was out of line.
She was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she was out of line.
Totally
That's not her business. You don't owe her an explanation.
Was that friend married?
But that's
Was that friend married?
Married and older, 7 years older. So this is what I mean by what I say in regards to our conversation around marriages and what we inject into other people in regards to our own standard. I knew who I was. So I said to her, "Girl, it ain't no big deal for me to do it. I love doing it. You make him a plate like the rest of the kids. What's the big deal? You do it. He's comfortable. You want him to be comfortable. Hey, babe, you okay?" So that was my question. So I have two questions to ask each one of you. One, how do you feel about serving? Is that something? What's your personality inside the love relationship? And do you believe that friendship? Because Dr. Francesca, when you talked about my problem is his problem, that is the truth. You are so right on point, because the two become one flesh. So if the two become one flesh, then how can it be your problem and not his problem? He has to make sure you're right. If you're not sleeping, he shouldn't be sleeping. If he's not sleeping, you shouldn't be sleeping. That's how that thing should go. So talk about that. Talk about how do you show up in the relationship. I'm a giver, so it's just natural. It's nothing for me. I do stuff that people say, "Oh my God, you go above and beyond." No, that's normal to me. So A Love, share, and then S Marie, you share, and so on.
You doing both questions?
Yeah, you could just do kind of blend them in together.
Okay. So for me, I'm like you. I mean, because I grew up seeing my mom, fix my dad's place and all that. So I don't have any problem doing that. Wherever we at, if we're home, I'm fixing plates and, whatever that looks like. Because like you said, in terms of serving, there's nothing wrong with that. If we're in the household and he's watching TV, I'm going to fix the plate. I'm going to fix the coffee and bring it to him or whatever. I don't see a problem with that. And I think for a lot of people, you just have to be kind of careful on how you let other people speak about your relationship and your marriage. Because bottom line, what I do is what I do. And maybe your household dynamics are different. I can't judge you on what you do, because if it works for you guys, it works for you. But for me, I don't mind doing any of that. And then when it comes to friendship, you know what? I believe that at the end of the day, we are family. So whether we are together now or we get divorced next week, we're still family. We have we have children together. If they have children, then we're going to be grandparents. We're going to be going to weddings and different things like that. So once you're married, to me, that is something that doesn't change just because things don't work out, whatever that looks like for you. So if you have that mentality going in, then it makes it easier, when you're dealing with certain things. And when you go in with what you said earlier, Marissa, with your own knowing who you are, it makes it easy to do something for somebody else. You don't look at it as a chore, like, I got to iron this, I got to do that. You don't look at it as a chore because you already know that I'm bringing value. They said he who finds a wife finds a good thing and
Good
a place
thing. There you
to
go.
with the Lord. So if you know that I'm that good thing, baby, then whatever I'm doing is bringing favor to you. It's helping you in your life. You have to understand that in sickness and health, if your man is sick, then you need. Speaking of, look, he didn't call me, and I'm thinking, don't call me now. Can y'all hear me still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just have to be mindful of that in sickness and health, whether it's good or bad. It's going to be different times, but at the bottom line, that is you two are one. So if I'm taking care of me when I'm sick, then of course I'm going to take care of him. If we're going through things, I need to be able to listen and be there, just like I expect him to do the same thing for me. So yes, I'm in 100% agreement on both parts.
Yeah, this is Hot Wife, Hot Life, the anthology. All right, see, Marie, let's
I
hear
can't hear
from you.
y'all.
All right. So, like Angela, I believe in certain servancy with your spouses. At the end of the day, my parents have been married for over 40 years. My father does not fix his plate. My parents do not eat without one another, and that's what I grew up seeing. So I love that. I mean, and that's their marriage, and it's not for everybody to have that same, you know,
Right.
lifestyle. To each his own. I don't eat with my spouse, but because we eat at certain times, we have different schedules. But at the end of the day, people have to understand, to each his own. And I believe in Ephesians 5:22 and 23. Wives, submit yourselves to your husband as you do to the Lord. At the end of the day, what I do with my husband and my spouse is my business. Is no one's place, friendship or not, to ever, comment on what you're doing unless you ask for that opinion. So I'll say this: opinions are like, what, everyone has one. Unless you're being invited into someone's relationship, is really no one's place to say, oh, you shouldn't do that for your husband, or you shouldn't do that for your wife. I didn't ask you. And what I choose to do and what he chooses to do, or she, that's
Right.
up to us. So I'm definitely a proponent of people making their relationship what they choose for it to be. It doesn't have to be what you learned or what you saw with your own parents or someone else. You make your relationship what it is, and that's how relationships thrive, because you're not submitting to someone else's will. You're making your own, and that's the importance of thriving relationships. You have to make it your own and figure out how you thrive together. So it's very important to me. And as far as friendships, when you decide, the relationship is over, I'm okay with that as well. My son's father, we've not been together in years. However, we are still cordial. If something goes on with my son or there's an event, we are it's a full out family, current spouse, ex spouse. We're all in the same business together. Like, what are we doing? You need to be
Right.
here. I need to be there. Again, it's really the maturity that comes into relationships, and you can't expect anyone else to understand what your dynamic for your family is like. It's not going to be theirs. Your dynamic won't work for them. Your life choices won't work for them. So that's why everyone is different. God made us unique and in his image. So it's not up to us to, dictate how someone else should live and live out their relationship and what they should and should not do, because I'm me. I'm going to do what's best for me and
Absolutely.
my relationship. And if you don't like it, sorry, don't watch, don't pay attention. We hang out outside. But what I do for my spouse is between me and my spouse. And, I'm not asking. So that's my opinion, and I'll stick to it, but I can go on. So I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, and you're so right. And those same people, Christians,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
were the same people gone when I divorced. No checking up on you, no. So thank God I have my own relationship with my heavenly Father,
Absolutely.
that I didn't relieve it, because it's almost like you got the cooties. Okay, you got to. We don't want to be around you. Whatever. And it's amazing that these people don't realize the impact and influence they can have, especially when someone doesn't know their self, when they're insecure, they don't know, they don't have any guidance. So they take your comments as guidance, as wisdom, and they'll say, well, why am I serving? When they don't really know that you like to serve. That's why you're doing it. You're doing it
Yes.
subconsciously because it's natural for you to just go ahead and do it. And so positive praise, Nicole.
All righty. Now, for me, as I stated earlier, I was raised by a single mother, so I wasn't taught to serve a man. But when I read the word, y'all, I learned this scripture, James 4:7. Submit to yourselves, then to God. Resist the enemy, and the enemy will flee from you. And I kept reading that scripture and reading that scripture, and I found that I love serving my husband. As a black man, my husband, when he walks out that door, he goes out and he battles in the world. And so when he comes back home, my job is to make sure he has peace. Not only peace, he has a warm meal to eat, clean clothes to put on, all of that. So I enjoy being that helpmate for him. I love it. And as friendships, my oldest son is not by my husband, so I co-parent with another person. And we had some rough patches, but he had to learn his place. He had to learn his place and respect what me and my husband were building over here. So now we are at a place now that we all are co-parenting in a wise way, not in a childish way. And so I'm all for that. But with friends, having their input in my marriage, I don't play that. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't play that. I don't even ask for advice. I'll take it to the most high.
That right there.
I take it to the most high. No lie. So I just don't play that. But it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is.
And you really do have to know yourself enough, because God does not want them meddling in your marriage. If they're not going to give positive, the one thing I loved and was thankful about my mom before her passing was that she didn't get involved when me and my ex-husband argued and I would run to her house. She's like, Marissa, you can stay married, She said, you have to go back home. You married, so you got to go back home. She did not put her mouth on my ex-husband. She didn't get involved in that. And so she taught me without directly teaching me. She taught me through modeling it. And by her modeling that kind of behavior, and she didn't have a bunch of girlfriends. I share with my daughters, I said, the reason why you don't see your mom with a bunch of friends and all of this busyness is because your grandmother had a quiet home. She didn't have all of these women over her house. And, she did her little social things, but home was sanctity. And it was peaceful. And it wasn't venomous. My mom was very, she was very, very grounded. The family always came to her for advice. And so because of that, she taught me how to be a lady without her teaching, because she wasn't teaching us. We learned the things that we learned by watching her. I even learned how to make lasagna. That's how my second husband married me. Because at 19, I knew how to go in that grocery store. I knew where everything was, and he was super impressed. He was like, oh my God, how do you know this stuff? Well, my mom, when I got my license, she sent me to the grocery store. I don't know what y'all did, but she sent me to the grocery store. So we learned all of that stuff. So you didn't learn because she was teaching you intentionally. You learned by what? Osmosis. You looked, you watched, and you picked it up. But Dr. Francesca shared with us about serving. Whatever it is that you really like to do for your husband, share with us about that, and also to the dynamics of friendship inside the marriage.
So I'm like you, I'm a giver, and I love to serve. When we look at who we are as women, aren't we naturally people who are put here to serve? And
That's what he said. We're
right, and so
helpmate.
Yes, but I take pause when I hear women say, well, like you said, well, you don't have to do that. Well, you should do this or you should do that. And I'm saying to
And
myself,
who's
well, you get out
telling
here
them
and you serve other people all day, every day. You don't want to serve the person who you said that you're his good thing and he's yours. I'm
Mhm.
confused. And so I love when you stated your mom didn't have she had a peaceful home, a quiet home. She had her social things, but her home was her home. It was sacred. That's
Mhm.
me. My home is my home. It's sacred. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I'm into a lot of circles and things. And so people don't get it. It's very important for me to still show up, even when I'm tired and it may be late for me or anything like that. It's still important because I think that as a spouse, it just makes you feel so much better. Because as a wife, doesn't it make you feel better when you know your husband has been out battling the world or he's had a hard day and he still shows up for whatever it is he's supposed to show up for when it comes to you two, you know? And I
Yeah.
think a lot of times we take that for granted. So for me, let me think of a couple of things that I can say that I've liked to do. So I know um earlier in my marriage, one thing that I did was I took the time to order a massage table because my husband is into trucking as well. So he had once upon a time he had a contract where he was an independent operator, but he had a contract with Rooms to Go. And so that would keep him like when he was getting adjusted to it, oh my goodness. It was like I you left before the sun came up and it's almost midnight, and you coming home. And so, you talk to him on the phone. He's frustrated about everything that's going on. It's got to be a better way to get this done. And so for me, okay, well, when you come home, I got the massage table laid out in the living room. I got the candles, the music, and he's just looking like, what
Yep.
is this? Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
rub
so
you down, baby.
it's the little things. I like to, especially when I know he's going through rough times, I leave little notes. I might go in his truck and leave a note. He's gonna see it when he gets in his truck to leave for the day. I may leave something in the bathroom mirror or in his lunch. It's just those little subtle reminders of, you know what, you may not feel like it, but you're doing a good job. Keep showing
Yeah.
up. And I know that you didn't have the model, because my parents divorced, but I was born into a two-parent home, and my parents divorced when I was 2 months shy of turning 17 years old. So I got to see what that looked like. He didn't get to see what that looked like, so to speak. So, he was more so raised by his grandmother and his mother. And I don't care what anybody says, it makes a difference
It does.
when a dad is not involved, or when you're a woman who you speak negatively about the man that you chose to procreate with. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Come on.
That's
So,
good.
because I have two sons, they have the same dad, but I didn't take the time to point out his shortcomings or things that I didn't like, things that I didn't think he was showing up for. I just stepped in and I asked God to bring people in to step in to
Yeah.
help in that space, and that was before, like I say, I've only been married 9 years. That was before my husband came along. And by the time he came along, they were basically just about grown. Cause so, a lot of times we don't look at it like that. And then when we talk about friendship, men don't like to listen to a lot. They probably, we talk a lot as women sometimes, or we just want to tell them I do. I really
Oh,
I want to talk to my husband. I don't want to go talk to no female about nothing, because we live in a time where, if I'm, like I say, I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So if I'm dealing with some things, it's a lot. And so with him, a lot of times he'll say to me, oh, well, don't worry about it. It's just business. Oh, well, sometimes when people feel that you're being elevated and they're not, they change up on you. Men just give it to you straight.
Yeah.
yes.
And so it's nice to be able to have that, that reassurance. And I tell my husband all the time when he's like, I don't know if I want to talk about, why are you talking to me about this? I'm like, you're my best friend. What do mean, who else am I gonna who else am I gonna talk to? So I agree with you all on as far as people having an opinion about how your marriage should look, what your life should look like. Because I've also noticed that a lot of times the people who have the biggest opinion are people who aren't even on the side I'm on first. There are people who they always, it doesn't matter what relationship they get in, all they do is complain. So they're pessimistic. I'll say that, and they can point out the faults in the person. Oh, well, I like him, but okay, well, let me tell you all the buts about you. I'm that friend. So it doesn't go over well, or, just, like you say, you have to be friends and you have to have a desire. I don't think anybody can force you to want to. It's not even just about loving your spouse. You got to like your spouse.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that right there. And I so agree with you, because the one thing I would say to my ex-husband was, I don't like you. You're not somebody I would want to go through a crisis with. Just his whole demeanor and energy is just like, you had to, I had to have a personality that could just drown that out. And thank God I did. Thank God I had the personality that I had. And also that I was a praying woman. That was very critical for me. But getting back to the things that you do for him, one thing I like to do is a massage. I love the oil and rubbing them down. I used to do my ex-husband's feet. I love doing that kind of stuff. I am a spoiler. So that's why I'm okay with being single, because I know what I have to offer. And if I'm going to offer it, you got to be worth it. And so I spoil. I don't care. I'm rubbing you down. I've had so many massages. I'm a masseuse myself. Listen, you talking about lavender, you talking about candles all over the room. I get that kind of sexy on. So you talk about hot wife, hot life. I like to get dressed up. I want to be in my heels. I want to be that sexy thing.
Come on, girl.
That is me all day long. I love it. And it's just second nature to me to do it. It's nothing. It's second nature for me to do it. And I don't believe that we have those conversations. We love the Lord, but he said the bed of the husband and wife is not defiled. So if it's not defiled, then have fun. Have fun. And we got to, as believers, as women who are crazy for Jesus, we got to really let other women know, let your hair down. You were designed to be sexy. There's nothing taboo, trashy about it. It's how you're conducting yourself. It's your behavior. It's where are you doing it? What is appropriate and not appropriate? But we got to let women know that you got to get your sexy back. Stop doing that. Stop feeling guilty or ashamed of being sexy. You were designed this way. I wear heels on purpose, and I act like I put my little buds in my ears.
Come on.
That's my theme music, and I'm walking down the street like it's the red carpet. It's the runway. I'm a fashion show. It's all about me. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling sexy, and it's not for them. It's for me.
Yes.
I get dressed up for me.
Yes.
Then it's you. It's you, because when I come, I gotta feel that confidence. I gotta feel, in order for me to come to you, I gotta feel sexy.
It's a mindset, Marissa. At the end of the day, when you're talking about being a hot wife, it's a mindset. You got to know that you're hot before you go and take it to anybody else. They don't define it in you. That has to be inside of you already. What you bring to the table is who you are, what your mindset is. Yes. And when you bring that, somebody's going to recognize, and they're going to continue to bring it out of you. But it starts with you. And I think that's where a lot of people miss out at, is because you feel like because you're a mother, or because, you work a job and all these things that, oh, I'm so tired and no, don't shut that down. You didn't shut it down. You was working and all these things before you got married. It doesn't shut down when you get married. You still have to feel good about yourself. So whatever that looks like, make sure you make it happen. If you like candles in your home, then light them up. If that's what it takes. If you want to run bath water and, put the lights down low or have a candlelight dinner, whatever that looks like for you, make that happen. Don't feel like you're doing too much, because it's never too much if it's
Yeah.
for you and the person that you love. There's
Yes,
never anything that's too much.
And we
yes,
have to teach that to our young women. We have to teach them what does it mean when the Bible says your body is not your own, it's the temple of the Holy Spirit. To teach them that, sex, making love to your husband. I always used to tell my kids when they were growing up, I don't care what you do, how you do it, where you do it, or when you do it, as long as you got a license to do it, right? You just
Right.
got to have a license to do it. So, I taught my daughters that you have to preserve. There's something very special and priceless and cherishing about yourself and your body. You don't want to just give it over to just anyone. And when we teach them that, I believe that it will teach them to value themselves enough to not just give it away because you like him and he cute and whatever is causing you to lose your values or compromise your moral stance. Teaching them that will make them value themselves enough to know how to say no. We got Planned Parenthood because we failed to do these things in our own home, and make sure that our kids understood that making love, intercourse is beautiful when it's
Yes,
done the right way. When
yes,
it's done the right way. And then they don't have that shame or that guilt because they have preserved themselves and they have gone about it the right way. Knowledge is power. Knowledge
yes,
applied is powerful. If we teach them the knowledge and the information, they'll make wiser decisions. I know personally, if my mom did a little bit more, just a little bit more,
mhm,
the decisions and the way that I would have done things would have been a whole lot different, and more beneficial to me in the long run. I don't regret my life, but I say what we got to get smarter and wiser with each generation, right? That's what we should be doing. And things should be advancing in a more positive direction, because we are learning. If we see a society that is still having problems or problems that are even worse than they were before, then something's not right. We're not learning from the lessons that we've experienced,
right.
and then we're not passing on that knowledge and wisdom to the next generation to prevent it or lessen it. So in our closing thoughts, I'm just going to let you say whatever's on your mind. So A Love, we're going to start with you, S Marie, then Nicole, and then we'll go with Dr. Francesca. Your closing remarks. Hot wife, hot life. That's the anthology.
Hot wife, hot life. I just want to say, although we have the other three ladies and myself here, it's a total of 12 of us on this book. So shout out to the other co-authors that were a part of this project. Everybody shared their story, their wisdom tips and all of that. So I really think that for people who are currently married, looking to be married, or you just want a good read when it comes to relationships, this book is for you. It is something that I think will help you as a woman. It even helped men to understand women and relationships and what to look for and how to conduct yourself. So, if you're that person, first and foremost, it starts with the mind. When you believe that you are hot, when you understand that, listen, the kind of life I want to lead is going to be a life that I'm going to enjoy. Like Marissa said, it's supposed to be joyful. It's not something that's like, now I got to go home and be with this person. You should enjoy being married every day that you go in. It shouldn't be, yes, work, but at the same time, work and worthwhile at doing the work. So enjoy being a hot wife, living a hot life, and support and celebrate other people who are married as well. Listen, stop trying to tell people how to live their married life. Let people be grown and live it like they want to, and celebrate it, honey. If they happy, be happy for them. Celebrate marriages, because I'm telling y'all, God ordained marriages, so therefore it's something to celebrate.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful
It's a
thing.
beautiful thing.
S Marie.
Love that. Thank you so much for saying that. That's truly important. It's all about happiness. And the Bible says when you let love walk in, so many other things come with that, happiness and wealth. So that's the key. When you decide you want to be in a relationship, make sure that you're happy. So therefore you can make someone else happy. And when you're happy together, the skies are the limit. So that's all I have. But I want to say thank you to A Love for allowing me to be on the project. I had a great time Melissa, thank you for allowing us to be on your show. This is awesome. We haven't connected in a while, so I'm just grateful to see you again. And
Yes.
I wish everyone the best in any endeavor that they're doing, especially in love and relationships. Make sure you find your happiness first.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Nicole.
I just want to say thank you, ladies, for having me. This is my first interview, and you guys made me feel safe, and I appreciate it. Marissa, great show. A love. Thank you so much for having me on this project. To all the other ladies, I appreciate you all. And I just want to tell each and every wife, put God first. God is love. So put God first in everything that you do and just watch how your relationship is going to flourish.
Yeah.
Don't you guys forget, get your copy of Hot Wife, Hot Life. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
You're very welcome.
Come on, friend.
So thank you so much, Miss Marissa, for having us on your platform this evening. It has been absolutely amazing. Thank you, A Love, for thinking it was the right time for this project, because it's definitely the right time.
Yes.
And it's just, I think it was divine connection. Every single woman that's on this project, it was divine connection.
Mhm.
We are real and raw, and we just bringing it to you like, yeah, this is real life. You're on the outside looking in, and you look at it and you think, a lot of people say, oh, I just want to be married, it's going to solve all my problems. Really? No.
This
So
ain't what you want if you're not ready.
that's it, and I think it's so beautiful, coming back to the what has been said over and over again tonight. You have to love yourself.
Mhm.
You have to be a person who, you can't be pessimistic. Joy, you have to have hope. You have to be willing to do what you need to do, the work for on you, as well as the work in your marriage, But it should be something that brings you joy, brings you happiness, not a task, or I don't know, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be like it's just something that's hard and horrible. I will say that. And they said everything, to be honest. They said everything. Everything I would say, my beautiful women right here just said it. The only thing I would leave everyone with is, if you are living the hot wife, hot life, and you're not living the hot wife, hot life that we were talking about this evening, you got it all mixed up, because beauty fleets. Okay, let's go there. Let's go there. So it's not about the beauty. You have to be content and whole in yourself. It has to be something that's
Yes.
in you and on you.
Yes.
That man cannot give it to you. It has to be in you and on you. When he
Yes.
found you, were you not confident?
Mm.
Right.
Were you
Right.
not, hey, I'm the prize? Come on now.
Come on.
So life happens. We've been in this thing for years, but we still have to show up in that confidence. And when we can't find it, we got to go seek God and seek
Yeah.
beautiful women like you guys, who remind us of who we are,
Mm.
and to go back and grab that person. So,
Yeah.
ladies, if you haven't already gotten your copy, please, please, please get your copy of Hot Wife, Hot Life. This is just the beginning. We've got more to come. I'm just plugging that for you, A Love.
I know, right? I know. Put it in.
Yes.
Well, wait a minute. Let me put it out like this and say that y'all know Marissa's in the DR, baby. So it might be that we need to make us a trip to the DR.
Come on, girl. You know I love a trip.
Maybe that's the next destination for the hot wives.
Yeah, y'all need to do a hot wife, hot life retreat here.
We
Retreat.
do. We do.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Yes.
we have on it.
I would love that.
We have a lineup of date retreats. They're standard retreats that we're doing throughout the year consistently. It's called Retreat to Refresh and Reset. Focus on what matters most to you. So you come in on a Wednesday and you're here, you get yoga, meditation, massages on the beach, massages in the salon. And you have your beachfront pools are throughout the property. And then you have engaging activities. There is a curriculum that comes with it so that you can focus on what matters most to you, whether that's something that's going on in your life, whether you're looking to strategize in your career, or you're looking to advance and upscale with your business. So we're doing those routinely. So they're already on the schedule. They're in the Own It magazine. The dates for the remainder of this year and into 2025. So we got them constantly going because people need mental health. They need a break. And we see that need. So that there is a consistent schedule for them to come retreat, refresh, and reset. So just let us know. You guys want to do a date? Let us know. We'll book a date for you guys. We do all the work. You get here and relax and enjoy yourself. Do some mindfulness, meditation, yoga on the beach. So we are already on that because we see the need.
Yes. And let's just say this: there's nothing more important than investing in your relationship and your marriage. So take the time, because again, to retreat, refresh, and reset.
Yeah. And it's not women only. So if you want to, and you want to do a couples, we could do that as well. But men are encouraged to come too, because my platform has always been men and women, youth as well. So that's why you hear me talk about young people and the influence that we have in young people. You heard me talk about community and how family life spills over into community, positively or negatively. And so, so just like you said, we have to invest in the building of ourselves and the building of our relationships, whether that's personal relationships, professional or business relationships. We got to learn how to complement, not compete, collaborate, and make impact and influence and change the world. And what did Kamala's mother say? Go do something about it, right? Don't talk about it, do something about it. And so that's what we have to do. We have to do something about it. That's why I said knowledge is powerful. Knowledge gives you power. But when you apply the knowledge, it makes you powerful. Why does it make you powerful? Because now your self-confidence is soaring off the roof, because you know. The reason why you don't, it says you toss to and fro, is because you don't know, or you're asking amiss. You're asking and still not knowing and not stable in that. And so I just want to say to you guys, thank you so very much. This has been a real treat for me, because this to me is a very important topic. It's very, very important. And there's so many parts to this that's so critically important for our public to hear, and to hear the reverse of the ball and chain, that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and finds favor. The critical thing there is good thing and favor, not a ball and chain. And so we got to make our voices louder to say we are the prize.
Yes.
We are the gift. So,
we got to
make sure.
Nice t-shirt.
We need a t-shirt.
Yes, we are the prize.
We are the present.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Well, I love you so very much. Thank you for being here with us. This is the Sweetheart Before I Say I Do. But we've been here all night with the authors of the anthology, Hot Wife, Hot Life. And these women are hot, sexy mamas. So we are out of here. God bless.
God bless. Oh, we still on?